Temperature's definitely going down. That's good. Right. I'm going live on this. I will do a dedicated video at some point. I'm waiting for the heat to die down first. I'm sweating like a pig. It's 33.6 in here right now. It's the coolest room out of the whole flat right now. But we are top floor, so take that with a bloody message and a half with that. So, where do I start? I'm going to try and do pauses here and there so I can cut it. When I download the live, I can cut it and do everything. So if you're watching this after the live in the actual video, this is where it was recorded from. So, as you can see by the title, it's the future as it stands. It's going to be mentioning Olive, the Mesobarbarus, that you guys have only just recently been introduced to. And I'm going to still keep her. The Tetras, as I call them, they're not actually Tetras in a sense. I thought they were. They're not. They are the red ant, which is Myrmica rubida, or rubra. I think it's rubra. Myrmica rubra. It's the two set. They're basically the same thing. Just one of them stings, one of them isn't fire ant in a sense. But yeah, that's them. They're staying as well, but we need to address their setup because, as I'll show you in a sec, they aren't acting how I would think they would be acting right now. They're exposed in a sense. I haven't checked on Olive, but I think Olive's fine. But the main reason for this video / this live stream right now, after thinking about it for a little while, I think we're going to have to let Meadow go due to recent events that have occurred and current situations that have occurred or occurring. One of them being the weather, and another one being housing situation. Like, I'm here at my missus's flat right now, and yes, she's happy with it, but housing aren't happy with the ants being had. So, with that being, the ants are going to have to be disbanded from the flat. They're going to have to go back to my shed, but they'll be, once I come to some sort of agreement with housing, then I'll be able to have them here. But I doubt that they will. I need you guys' help on this, Antantics. If someone at Antantics could reach out and basically lay out what part of the rules that have been set, because I know that there is a legislation that's been set that basically deem certain ants as pets, I'm pretty sure, or is going to be, because I know a lot of people are pushing for it, especially in Europe. They're definitely pushing for it. But I need to figure out how I can convince housing to alter their rules on a not even if it's like a whole policy change, just a base by base, case by case or base by base basis, that they change it or allow it in a sense. Like, some people, like fish tanks, you have to ask permission, you have to tell them what fish and the size of the tank. We've already gone through that with housing. That was going to be the initial idea. Okay, right, get permission for the tank. Don't tell House about the ants, just put them in a bio tank with the fish. Which, there's plenty of people that have done it. And Canada, there's a few other people I watch that are in Europe that have done it. America, there's people in America that have done it. So I know that it's possible to do it. It's just, will they notice it? And their words were, if you didn't tell us and we didn't notice, or we just questioned it at the time, they wouldn't have had to do a visit to tell us no, basically. So it wasn't me that told them. I had no option. At the end of the day, I don't live here, or just stay here. So yeah, that's how it was. So it had to go that way. So that's why the ants are going to have happened to what they are, in a sense. So basically, if you're wondering what I'm looking at the Tetras in a sense, and because they're just swarming a cotton ball that's been in there for a few days, that previously had water on it that I don't think does anymore, but they're on it in a sense. I've even watered it while they're on there, and they're still not moving off of it. They're using it as a nest. So I'm wondering whether or not I give them a gypsum nest or attach a Wakushi Venus to it to allow them to have a low level nest, because it might be better for them, and then have them as but then I don't get, because they're in a large Venus, so they get the outlook, they get the room to explore, but they're still on the cotton bud. They were completely fine up until what, 2 days ago, and now they're there. So what I'm gonna do is I'll flip the camera and I'll show you. So look there. This is what they're doing. They've completely migrated out of that bottom test tube. They were in those top two. The cats knocked the Outworld over at one point. They did. He complete Stitch, wherever he is. He'll probably become famous on this channel at some point because he likes to watch what I do. But he basically knocked this whole nest like that, so these shoes were facing down, and completely knocked them off. And then at one point he knocked them on the side, so they came out as well. So they've had a little shake up within the last 2 weeks. They have. But it doesn't explain why they're doing this. Like, I need to feed them again. I need to clear it out and feed them, which I'll feed them later on after I've done this. But let's just say this is actually very strange. I've never had a colony do this before. Maybe it's something that Myrmica rubida do. Well, no, rubra. I mean, sorry, I keep getting those two confused. But maybe this is something that Myrmica rubra do. That they just expose themselves to cool down. I mean, the room's what, 32.2 external. It's going down. Humidity's at near 60, so it's pretty humid, I must say. Hence why 32 feels like muggy. But that temperature is coming down. I've got ice packs on top of the fan, which I need to go and check in a sec to make sure they're not leaking onto the electrics of the fan. But I've never seen this happen before. There it goes, 32.1 now at 59% humidity. If I can get down to 30, that'll be brilliant, because I'm not whacking the printer on. I was going to print some bits today, because I've got an eBay store. That is another reason why I'm going to post the video as well, so you can help support the channel that way, if you want to. I need to put paper motion into the thingy soon. But considering I grew this colony from one queen, and now they're at, I don't know, this is only one side of the cotton ball, by the way. They are on this side as well. They're probably at, if someone wants to count them, I would say they're probably at, what, 50 workers now. And more on the way. They've had a fair die-off, but I think these guys, when they go into hibernation in, what? We're in June now, going into July soon. July, August, September. In about less than 3 months, I think they're going to be fine. I think they'll be fine, honestly. And they'll actually be able to get a proper hibernation as well. Well, it's not their first hibernation, this will be their second. But their second in a controlled, more relaxed environment, and I'll be able to assess it ready for next hibernation, next season. I'll be able to give them a better chance at growing a more controlled environment. They might even have a bio setup by that point, because then it gives me 4 months to save up to build them a bio setup. Because another reason why Meadow's going to have to be released is because Wakushi Outworlds are made of acrylic with 3D printed parts. These, as I found out when I've been trying to 3D model, are hard as hell to model. I've nearly aced it on this part here. This is before I've chopped each individual section. I just need to make it slightly bigger and shift this one slightly over, but this took 2 hours to print. Obviously, I don't have to do the full stick, but I need to do it to test it to make sure everything lines up before I slicey dicey it. Because I could probably slicey dicey this bit here, and then it'd be fine. And I just need to work out how to not get a gaping hole like that. So probably need to slow down my layer heights, because it did layer shift quite a bit. So, and the reason being, maybe let's go in, I'll sidetracked on that, is this acrylic here warped so much, pulled on the 3D printed part with the screw, ripped it out, ripped the thread out, and there was a gaping hole at the bottom. So this morning I had to woke up to, and went in to play on the PlayStation, because I was going about, right, I'm not going to do any delivery, I haven't got work today, I can just chill and try and keep cool. Ants crawling out of there. Not something you want to have happen when housing have told you no ants. So had to go down to corner shop, no blue tack. Went to Morrison's, blue tack. Joys, eh? So I had to blue tack it. There's ants currently crawling around everywhere in the flat. There's not as many as I thought, but there's ants crawling around. But that's also why I'm monitoring these on my desk, because if these get out, that'll be bad. So I want to move away from the Saturn and the Venus's nests and everything. Well, Venus nest actually is alright. There's one that's Olive's in now is alright. Those I can 3D model myself and everything. I want to move to the gypsum nests and nests that I can basically make that are solid 3D prints so I can test. So that's why I'm going to get a whole bunch of Lasius colonies, try and get Flavus. That's another reason why I want to make this video as well. I want to find Flavus. Let me know if you've managed to see a Flavus colony out this year, because I've not been able to yet. I've seen baby colonies, but over the last 2 years, I've noticed that Flavus have not been flying as much as they used to. And they are harder to find, they are harder to buy as well, because Wakushi obviously stopped selling in 2021, 22. He stopped selling ants, but he even had a limited supply then. Antantix doesn't have any, hasn't had any for about 2 years. Ants HQ don't have any. There's a few other Antarus, they have them, but I don't know if they're going to be any good. They've probably been sat there for a while. Because I swear Antarus is where I got Olive from. So far she's doing okay, but I need to sort out a nest of where I can see her, of where I can feed her, and I can maintain her at a normal, comfortable level, away from the cats, away from sunlight, controlled environment, so I don't disturb her with vibrations, because my god, Mesobarbarus are so sensitive. They're even more sensitive than I thought they were, but that's the only colony that the missus loves, so I've got to keep Olive alive as long as I can. But these guys are staying. These are my personal private pets that will occasionally show on the channel. If you want to see them, obviously I will, but the main purpose is the natives. So if I have to migrate to Lasius Flavus to do the videos that I normally would want to do and still want to do, because I've not actually done everything I want to do or started what I wanted to do yet with this channel. This channel has basically just been showing my hobby. I want to actually do more in-depth videos, more informative videos, but I just haven't had the time, space, and support to do it. Like, I've been living at home. I still technically do live at home, but now that my missus says I should be able to have my own space, my own time when she is out or I'm out, or got private time where I can actually just film, document, and actually do everything correctly now, which would be brilliant. Right now she's not gonna be back until Saturday, so I can do this and film this. She didn't see the escape, thank fuck. But yeah, it's one of those things. And eventually I'll have my own PC, so I won't have this up here, so I can have nest, or nest up here or something. I want to sort out so the printers aren't in this room, they're in another room, so we can have them completely separate and sorted and everything. So that's something I'm going to sort out soon. Let's go and show you Meadow, because I will have to release Meadow in due course. Let me turn this off. Let me turn that off. It's the World Cup. Is there any on the ceiling right now that I can show you? Just show you that they've been out and they are still everywhere, just in small quantities. I'll have to do a lot of blurring after this. But they were everywhere this morning. Like, I had them crawling on my arm when I was on the sofa. I had them. That's another reason why I want to make sure that they're not in the bedroom, because obviously Olive's in there. Yes, she's in a Venus, so they can't get to her, but they can get to the Tetras if I leave the lid off too long. What are they going to do to the Tetras? Tetras will probably nuke them. Well, Myrmica. And also, another reason why Meadow's going to have to go is they are... Whoa, okay, hang on. Have they chewed through the blue tack yet? No, they are trying to chew through the blue tack though. That's the annoying bit. Look, they're trying to chew through the blue tack. They are actively... They are actively chewing through the blue tack as I speak. They are actively chewing through the blue tack. You mother... Means they're really onto it. They've moved all the larvae out. They're into this test tube here. Queen is in the test tube there. So Queenie is fine. Meadow's fine. But to be able to effectively house these guys, I've got to move them into a dirt enclosure. Because this nest is now... There you go, there's one out now. In you go. They're out. They're trying to get out. They're actively trying to get out. And any weakness in the nest they find, they exploit, which is not good right now. And also, they're at a size of where before the move, then their whole setup needs revamping. It does. Like, the water's leaking everywhere. It's flooded here, it's flooded here, it's flooded here. So basically, they can't even live in their actual nest right now. I've given them this, but they're not choosing to go into these right now. So they're preferring the test tubes on the floor. Right there. There's loads of them here. But also, there's loads that are dying. Whether that's from tobacco exposure, vaping exposure, stress, I can't tell at this point. Like, my best bet right now, because also if I was to put these guys in hibernation right now, all this here would just, all that will just flood. It would just flood. Like, Meadow's doing okay, but it's the fact that this has occurred where test tubes are flooding, they're having to not use them. I need to start from scratch again, I think. I'll let them go, so they won't be nuked. I'm gonna let them go, but I'm gonna have to let them go in a way that's not gonna harm them. Because I've just caught 2 new queens, well, 5 new queens, so I'll start from scratch, because then it'll be easier for the situation of the housing thing. I can just have them over here out the way, and they're a lot easier to manage and feed as well when they're at a small stage. Like, yeah, I've not been able to get them to a big enough stage, but bearing in mind though, when they were at a bigger stage, they were occupying all this. Like, there is been a massive reduction in size. Like they're occupying what, 3 test tubes now, 4 test tubes, compared to the 8 that they were originally. So there's been a massive reduction in size. So that's why I'm gonna have to let them go. So they're going to be going, but it's not the end of keeping natives. I will be keeping natives. It's just I'm going to be keeping them on a smaller scale, starting fresh, so I can manage them a lot better, and so I can adapt to their needs better than what these guys have. And plus, these are 3 years old, because oh shoot, I've just realised something else. Where else could they be getting out from? There, and there. Because I had to remove the screws, didn't I? So I'm gonna have to address this situation. Right, well, that's them. That's how it goes. Right, so that's the Latias. Let's go and show you Olive before I end off the live stream and go and edit this into a normal video. It's 31.4 in here right now. How's Olive doing? Hopefully, our test tube has not flooded, hopefully. Right, we resumed it. We had an issue. It probably went a little while, but this is, there you go, lights in, flash. Here we go.
Here's Olive. One of her workers was out in the outworld not too long ago. They've gone to the new test tube, which is over here. I guess she does have a worker out. What I'm going to do in a sec actually is I'm going to take her out, put her down here. Now I'm just going to have What I'm going to do is actually go and get some blue tack, and I'm going to blue tack those. I'm going to make a little blue tack stopper. Hello, Stitchy. Hang on a second. Where on earth did I just put those? There. There we go. There we go. Right, let's clean out these. There we go. That's them now. They were caught yesterday, they were. Now they're just resting up in here. So I'm going to put this back. Just like that. Bear with. Where's my flashlight there? I'm just trying to see where all the eggs are right now. I can see the big major though. Bear with a second, I'm just gonna have a look and see if I can see. No, there's been no more eggs. Okay, girl, what you been doing? There's a massive major there, though. There is no eggs there. She's probably just too stressed due to the warmth. Probably. I wouldn't be too surprised about. No, instead of the red, we're gonna get the black filler. There you go, I'll just get the... I've got the red filter on the... or black filter on there now. What I'm going to do is give them some water, so I'm going to come off now and that will be it. Catch you on, guys.